Hey, what's up, nerds? Paul at Radio Free Hammer Hall, and today I want to talk about being a nerd. So, this actually kind of came up because of a conversation in a WhatsApp chat, in the Age of Sigmar WhatsApp chat, and somebody kind of took, I don't know, offense or exception, not sure exactly like the word. Basically, didn't like that I was calling my audience nerds all the time. And I just kind of wanted to talk about that because, first of all, um, I don't take that in any sort of bad way. Like, I see being a nerd as a good thing. I'm proud of being a nerd. My wife's a nerd. My kids will undoubtedly be nerdy. It's just kind of, it's, it's my culture, so to speak. But I wanted to talk about how it's not a bad thing. You know, years ago, calling somebody a nerd was an insult. And now it's really basically just saying that somebody is passionate about something and that they're devoting a lot of their time into a hobby or interest, which is frankly a good thing to be doing. So I'm sort of like losing my train of thought here, and I apologize. I'm just kind of freestyling this. So I think it's no longer a thing that really carries any negative connotation, especially um, to people that we fly the nerd flag high. We're out there and we're wearing the t-shirts and the hats and the patches on our backpacks and bumper stickers, tattoos, all nerdy stuff. Like so many people you know, have tattooed themselves with nerd culture. A permanent thing on their body that they are that passionate about that they want that on their person forever. So I think it's a matter of passion. And I'm going to link a video in the description below of Simon Pegg talking about that in an interview. I think he really put it in a great way. But one of the other things that he really mentions in that interview is that being a nerd has gone mainstream. It's what was once niche culture is now popular culture. Two of the most successful movie franchises of all time are Star Wars and Marvel. Fantasy science fiction and superhero movies based on comic books. That alone should tell you how much being a nerd has changed over time. That being a nerd is cool now. And frankly, I can kind of speak to that from a little bit more of life experience as well. My wife is a high school teacher, and like her students are proud of being nerds. They want to be. They want to be passionate about things and know things. And I think the internet has really enabled people to dive more into their passions and get a lot more information on their passions and um, really embrace that nerdiness that maybe was always there, but they just didn't have access or didn't have the outlet for it. Um, and you can be a nerd about almost anything. And the example I always love to give about it is you are not going to tell me that people that are really into fantasy football are not huge nerds. That is a role playing game for sports fans. That is not like this like macho uh athlete thing to do. This is like analyzing players stats and paying attention to everyone's performance on a really granular level, like really studying what these players are doing, what their performance is like, on a level that is completely crazy if you were doing anything other than that professionally, right? Otherwise, you're just a nerd, you know? So, fantasy sports players, I hate to tell you, you're just sports nerds. That's what it kind of comes down to for me. There's a lot of other things that you can be nerdy about too. It's not just rolling dice or, you know, playing role playing games or miniatures games or card games or board games, reading comic books. I mean, there are plenty of people that are nerdy about music or books or, I don't know, name a topic. Any topic really that somebody gets really passionate about and throws themselves into. And especially, I think, when there is a culture and a community built around that's more than just the activity itself. It's a bunch of people getting together and discussing it. So I think being a nerd is a really positive thing. And just also evidence that being a nerd has gone mainstream. Just look at the attendance numbers of conventions. Look at how people that you would ordinarily not think of as nerds are watching videos of panels for TV shows at Comic-Con. Like, there are so many TV shows that they'll have a panel and discuss the show at this, what used to be a comic book convention. And now this is, broad, wide consumption. If you're really into a TV show, you're going to be watching their panel from Comic-Con or maybe going to Comic-Con. And it might not even be like a thing that you would ordinarily think of as really nerdy. Like, I just out of memory, like, the TV series Once Upon a Time had panels at Comic-Con every year. My wife was a huge fan of the show, and she would watch every single one, often multiple times. And if that ain't nerdy, I don't know what is. That particular show is not particularly nerdy. It's just a TV show based on a bunch of fairy tales of very mainstream stuff. It's not particularly extra nerdy. So anyway, that's kind of my rant for today. There's going to be video in the description to go check out what Simon Pegg had to say about being a nerd. It's all good things. It's a great video. I hope everybody out there embraces being a nerd. You're proud of it. You're proud of who you are. Really accept that part of your identity and understand that it's not a bad thing. And it, even in a wider cultural sense, that nerdy things have become mainstream and pop culture and accessible. And people that would have never read comic books are devotees of the Marvel movie franchise. That you have people going kind of like backwards now. You have people that watch a movie and they say, holy crap, this was based on a comic book? I gotta go read the comics. So yeah. Fly the nerd flag high, guys. Stay nerdy.